Good evening, everybody. My name is Vince Lefebvre, and as Bob said, I'm the Vice President of OACETT's Certification Board, the Institute of Engineering Technology of Ontario, otherwise known as AITO. It is my great pleasure to preside over the next part of these ceremonies. The presentation of the fellow OACETT designations to 5 very worthy certified OACETT members. This is our 3rd time conferring this designation. Starting with its inception in 2013, the 5 members receiving it tonight will join the 8 other distinguished members who hold this title. The fellow OACETT designation is the highest and most prestigious membership category. To achieve it, the nominee must be a certified member who has demonstrated significant achievement and/or their contribution to in the field of engineering technology or related field in their discipline, as evidenced by technical accomplishments and/or service to the engineering technology field, community, and/or the public in the area of significantly advancing the cause, protection of the public safety, or knowledge of engineering technology. 2, outstanding dedication and contribution to OACETT. 3, service to the not-for-profit sector or the community unrelated to OACETT. 4, devotion to the profession over a period of time for a single outstanding act of service. President Bob Vandenberg will now present the fellow OACETT certificates. I would ask that each fellow recipient come forward after his accomplishments have been read and speak for a few minutes, if they wish to do so. Our first fellow OACETT recipient, I want to introduce Harry Baker, C.E.T. Harry A. Baker, C.E.T., has been an OACETT member for most of the 40 years he has provided input to microclimate studies. One of Harry's early accomplishments was conducting forensic simulations to demonstrate how snowdrifting caused devastating accident on Highway 400 in 1973 to a jury for the resulting inquest. Many of the snow simulations used today were developed by Harry and passed on to others. This experience led to the development of a manual and spreadsheets to improve highway safety and design. Much of the collective knowledge of highway snowdrifting at the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario can be attributed to papers he authored or projects he consulted on. Harry has also developed methods and criteria used to assess pedestrian wind conditions around hundreds of buildings throughout the world. Harry's vast knowledge of wind conditions resulted in his being recognized as an expert witness at development hearings in Ontario and Nova Scotia. Harry authored the Snow Patrol article in the January-February 2015 issue of the Ontario Technologist, with a focus on snow drifting on the Dempster Highway. He has been interviewed by the Discovery Channel for 2 documentaries, The Chinook Winds in Alberta and Changed Winds Conditions at Table Rock, Niagara Falls. Mr. Baker, please come forward to be recognized.
Been a long time since I stood in front of audience such as this, but I love it. Thanks very much for this recognition. Not every apple grower's son from Norfolk County has done the things that I've had the opportunity to do. But there are some individuals that I really need to thank for this nomination. There are a group of OACETT members that I worked with over the years. Gord Dunn, Bill Wechter, Mike Carter, Roman Stengel, and Kate Turton. All members, all graduates from Conestoga, and we all have had a good experience, good camaraderie in this field of microclimate studies. I would like to thank three particular mentors that I had over the years. The first being Arden Mertz, who was a coordinator at Conestoga College. He was the one that gave me the push to do the things that I did. I knew engineering approaches, but really didn't have the confidence in myself, and he was able to help me with that and move forward. The second person is Professor Frank Theakston from the University of Guelph, who he and some of his graduate students developed the water flume system, which we use to simulate snow drifting conditions on physical models. And last but not least, Colin Williams, who is also a PhD and a partner at RWDI in Guelph, the company that I worked for. He was the one who explained to me in English that snow drifting on highways, in other words, snow and wind, acts very much like sand in water. And that's the simulation that we use. We put a channel of sand and water, and we put a model in it, and the sand drifts around it like it would in actuality. So that's the basis of what I learned, but I've been able to carry that further in many other areas. And if we had 3 or 4 hours, I could probably cover most of that, but I'm told that I have a couple of minutes or so. Anyway, and last but not least, my biggest contributor to my career is my wife, Ginny. We will soon be married 35 years. Another benefit, I guess you could say, we work together in Edmonton, and that creates an issue when you are a partner and you marry an employee. I like to, once again, I won't go through that, but we were married 35 years come September, so it must have worked out okay. Thanks very much, Ginny.
The next recipient of this prestigious designation is a man very close to my own heart. And I am very, very pleased to be able to speak on his behalf here. Robin Dunn, C.E.T. Robin Dunn has held positions of high responsibility in the municipal sector, working for the municipalities of Thunder Bay, Caledon, Meaford, and most recently as Chief Administrative Officer of the Township of Oro Medonne. Thank you. He's also been a long-serving active member in OACETT at the chapter and regional levels. Ultimately serving as president, he has supported OACETT in numerous capacities, notably as a member of the nominating committee and on the Canadian Council of Technicians and Technologists as chair, trying to build consensus between provincial associations with divergent platforms. He continues to serve at the national level as moderator for the Technology Professionals of Canada. Robin, with his political acuity and leadership, has influenced and built community and council consensus on strategic directions and has promoted business planning and performance management in his career. He has also served the Thunder Bay Scouting Organization for 10 years, a man after my own heart, including becoming the Northwestern Ontario Regional President, was a member of the governing structure of the Lakehead Conservation Authority, and President of Toastmasters in Thunder Bay. Robin was awarded the OACETT Outstanding Community Service Award in 2002 and Life Member Award 2007. Mr. Dunn, please come forward and accept your award.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, President Vanderberg, Chair of the fellow OACETT Committee, Vice President Lefebvre, OACETT Council members, colleagues, and guests. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the fellow OACETT Committee and OACETT Council for bestowing the fellow designation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly humbled to be recognized by my peers with the other 2016 recipients and added to a short list of members who have previously been awarded the fellow OACETT designation. I am fortunate to continue to have the privilege of serving with many dedicated volunteers, partners, and professional staff whose tireless work on behalf of OACETT make my contributions personally satisfying and rewarding. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank individuals who, over the years, have supported my volunteer service with both their encouragement and their mentorship. Together, we have advocated on behalf of OACETT's members, served the public interest, and advanced the engineering and applied science technology profession in Ontario and in Canada. Please with me acknowledge those individuals, past presidents, Mr. Angelo Innocente, fellow OACETT, Mr. Trevor Onken. Trevor's also receiving acknowledgement this evening. The late Dr. Felix Deegan, Mr. Gene Stodlak, Mr. David Sang, OACETT Chief Administrative Officer Ms. Hilary Tidaldi, and Chief Executive Officer Mr. David Thompson. Thank you for your support, your encouragement, past, current, and future. And to my wife, Wendy, thank you for your continued understanding, patience, and support of my service to our profession. Mr. President, members of OACETT Council, thank you again for this great honor of the fellow OACETT designation, and congratulations to all individuals recognized this evening. Thank you very much.
Our next recipient for this prestigious designation is Alex Lunch, C.E.T. Actually, it's Alex Lunich. Alex has been a member of OACETT for 45 years. His nomination for fellow highlights his wealth of knowledge, innovations and experience of more than 30 years in protection, control, and metering at Hydro One Networks Incorporated and Rodan Energy Solutions. His in-depth understanding and development of revenue metering systems, designs, equipment, specifications, tendering, investigative and audit techniques, policy, procedures, and metering database development are second to none in the field. He is well regarded as a preeminent expert in Ontario in the field of electricity metering. In terms of technology development, Alex can be characterized as an early adapter. And over the past 12 years with Rodan, he has been credited with numerous technology advancements to provide better solutions to clients through intelligent implementation of electrical theory. He also represents Rodan on many industry and regulatory groups and has served on Industry Canada's task force on data communications protocol for electronic metering devices. He has taught and made presentations on metering systems and development in both Canada and abroad. He is also a trustee on the Fletcher Foundation committee for over 8 years. In 1995, Alex received the George Burwash Langford Memorial Award for bringing credit to the profession through his distinguished career. Mr. Lunich, please come forward and be recognized.
Firstly, I wish to acknowledge Bob Vandenberg, Greg Miller, and I don't know if Stephen Morley is here. These are the presidents in the current period, and honorable guests. Secondly, I wish to express my gratitude for this honor to Vince Lefebvre, Barbara Chappelle. Also, congratulations to Harry, Robin, Trevor, and Cedric. 2 to follow. The poet John Donne's famous line, "No man is an island," is a fitting way of describing how essential support from family, colleagues, and friends can assist one in yielding an honor such as the fellow OACETT designation. Normally, recognition by one's peers is by itself an honor. I wish to thank my colleagues at Rodan not only for their recognition of my efforts, but for considering them worthy to the extent that they collaborated to nominate me for this prestigious designation. Thank you to the fellow OACETT committee for finding merit in the nomination and awarding the designation. Lastly, and most importantly, thank you to my lovely wife, Steffa, for over 35 years of patient support. Thank you all again.
What can I really say about this next recipient to this very prestigious designation? Trevor Onken, C.E.T. Trevor Onken has been a member of OACETT for 51 years, and during that time has been a dedicated volunteer. Dedicated volunteer serving on many committees, including the nominating, admissions, second file review, discipline committee. Trevor was one of the original committed group of examiners who, like George Fletcher and the late Stuart Baxter, reviewed thousands of member files and technology reports for the association. Trevor was appointed as the association secretary from 1983 to 1988, and to the registration board from 88 to 91. Trevor served as chair of the Hamblin chapter. He's also served as ex officio member to council, vice president of AIDO, and then president from 1999 to 2001. In 2002, Trevor was appointed to the joint OACETT and Ontario Association of Architects Board, and through its discussions and negotiations, saw the establishment of the Ontario Association for Applied Architectural Sciences. Trevor also served as an auditor for national accreditation. It is fitting, with this impressive involvement in OACETT, that Trevor was the recipient of the OACETT Merit Award in 1976, life membership in 86, and the Blake H. Goodings Memorial Award in 1992. Trevor, I am honored to have you come forward to be recognized.
"50 years of having fun in OACETT. I'd like to thank my friends and members and staff for all the fun. I should tell you how I got into OACETT. Different. When I was younger, my Air Force friends, and by the way, I met George Fletcher in Air Force, Don Coit, another member, they invited to a meeting and they didn't tell me what it was. It was a Hamilton chapter executive meeting, and I was going to be on the executive. A delegate at large, of course. They convinced me to join OACETT, never heard of it before, because of the cheap PEO insurance. Always looking for a bargain. And the cheap $18 a year membership fee for OACETT. Oh, yes. I have enjoyed every year and enjoyed all my friends. Thank you very much.
Another honor is bestowed to me tonight. Cedric Smith, C.E.T. Cedric Smith has been an OACETT member for 44 years. I was going to say since 1944. Much of that time, he has devoted his time enthusiastically to volunteer on several committees, including the Board of Examiners, Admissions, Second Review, and Standards Committee. He's actively participated in the NTO Road Construction Program and review of the Indian education system. He provided examination papers on mechanical subjects, invigilated and marked the professional practice exam, and participated in national accreditation. He was vice chair of AIDO in 1998 to 2007. Cedric was OACETT's representative on the review of Part 3 of the Ontario Building Code and on the Professional Engineering Experience Committee for 2 terms. He was an active member of the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers and was its Toronto chapter president for 1991-1992 term. Cedric was presented with their Presidential Award of Excellence for improvement in membership, research promotion, education, and energy management. As a member of the Standing Committee on Energy Conservation and Buildings for the National Research Council of Canada, Cedric's contributions resulted in publication of the first edition of the Energy Conservation in Buildings Code for use nationwide. Cedric is a recipient of the Blake H. Goodings Memorial Award and was awarded life membership in 2011. Cedric, please come up and accept your recognition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Since I'm the last person, I suppose I can speak for 10 minutes. And I also believe I'm the youngest. First of all, I would like to thank Mazen Naidoo for nominating me for this prestigious award. I would also like to thank the Selection Committee and the Board of Governors for approving this award for me to join this very impressive group of fellows. And I just use that word philosophically. Many moons ago, I was involved with getting job descriptions together for the old Borough of Scarborough mechanical section. So I contacted OACETT, and I must admit, I got to meet a very impressive and interesting human being by the name of Fred Thayer. Fred sat with me, we put things together, and then he invited me to join OACETT as a volunteer on the admissions committee. Needless to say, I didn't join the volunteers for another year and a half, but I want to thank Fred, who has since passed away. I then continued with OACETT for a number of years, and in the late 80s, I left OACETT to work with ASHRAE, the American Society of Heating and Ventilating Engineers, and I became their president in the 1991 term. And after my past president term, I came back to OACETT. I then got involved in all aspects of certification and accreditation for OACETT, and I have to thank at this point George Fletcher, Dave Holmes, who was then the registrar, for getting me involved, which I must admit I thoroughly enjoyed. It was a great journey. I get to meet a lot of friends, and I have to admit at this time that the OACETT staff, very professional, very helpful, and very efficient. In closing, I'd like to thank my wife, Diane, for looking after the homestead while I was away. And I hope you will join me in a little applause for her sticking with me for the last over 50 plus years. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.